Hello student, how are you? First of all, I want to tell you that you are a good student and you are a hard worker student. And second, I want to tell you that I miss you so much. I wish you have a good health and a good situation. Our lesson for today is about practicing simple past. Last time we talked about simple past, right? We talked about when to use simple past and how to use simple past. We use simple past to talk about something that happened in the past. We use simple past to talk about action that happened in the past, right? And those keywords tell us that you have to use simple past. For example, ago, last week, last month, last year, in the past, in 1993, in 1995, in 1999, in 2017, and in using any date, okay? And so those keywords tell us that you have to use simple past, right? So, how to use simple past? We talked about how to use simple past last time, right? So we use the subject, we use the verb in the past tense, and we use what? Complement, okay? The verb in the past tense has two types, the regular form and the irregular form, right? So in the regular form you have to add ed, right? You have to add ed. But in the irregular form, you have to change the verb, okay? For example, they played football. Look here, we add ed because it is regular verb. They played football, okay? It is past tense and it is what? Regular verb. Why? Because we add ed. She ate an apple. The next one, she ate an apple. This is example of what? Of a past tense, and it is what? Irregular verb. We don't add ed to the verb eat, right? We change it to be what? To be ate. She ate an apple, right? So and last time we talked about the simple past in the what? In the affirmative form, in the negative form, and in the yes or no question, right? In the affirmative form, in the positive form, we don't add anything, right? Just we use what? The verb in the past tense, right? So Ellie went to London last month. Look here, Ellie went to London. It is a regular verb of the verb go. Ellie went, right? He visited his uncle. He what? He visited. It is regular verb. Can you notice that? So to make it negative, what does negative mean? To make it negative. Negative means in Arabic nafi, right? So to make it negative, you have to add did not, right? Can you remember that? We add did not and the verb infinitive. Can you remember that? So Ellie didn't go to London last month. Ellie didn't go, right? We use didn't and we use the infinitive form of the verb go. We don't add anything, we don't change, we don't add ed or s or ing or anything. We use infinitive. What does infinitive mean? الفعل المجرد, right? ما منضيف له أي إضافات. So Ali didn't go. He didn't visit his uncle last week. Look here, he didn't visit. We use didn't because the sentence is negative, and we use visit because you need to use infinitive verb. And why do we use infinitive verb? Because we have didn't, and with didn't you don't need to change the verb, right? So how to make it in the yes or no question form, right? So you have to use did in the beginning of the question. Did, subject, verb, infinitive, complement, and a question mark. So look here. Did Ellie go to London last month? Here we have did Ellie go. Why do we use go? Because it is what? Because it is yes or no question. And we have did. And with did, you don't need to change the verb. Use it in the infinitive form. Did he visit his uncle? Did. He is the subject. Visit. It is what? Infinitive verb, right? We don't add ed, we don't add s, we don't add ing, we don't add anything to the verb. Why? Because we have did. And with did, you have to use infinitive verb, right? So let's move to practice this rule, or to practice simple past in the affirmative form, in the negative form, in the yes or no question form. Okay, so let's begin. The first one: last year I spent my holiday in Ireland. So last year, it is what? A keyword for what? For simple past. Last year, right? So I spent. Why do we use spent? Because you need to make it what? Simple past. So you have to change the verb. Spend is the past form, and spent is, look here, we have T. So we change the verb. So it is what? Irregular verb. We change it. Can you notice? We change it. We don't add ed. Right? We change it. So it is what? Irregular verb in the past tense, right? It be great. Okay, last unit we talked about how to use verb to be in the past tense. Can you remember that? We use was or were, right? We use was with what? With it. It was great. Can you remember that? It was great. We use was with it, she, he, and singular noun. I travel around by car with 2 friends, and we visit lots of interesting places. So here you have to change the verb to be what? To be simple past. I traveled. Here you have to add ed. Why? Because it is regular verb. So add ed. I traveled around by car with 2 friends, and we visited lots of interesting places. We have ed also here. We add ed because those 2 verbs are what? Are regular verb. That's why we add ed. Okay? The next one night we even learn some Irish dances. Okay? We even learned. Here we have the subject and learn. You have to change learn to be what? To be simple past. Learn, learned. You have to add what? D. Okay, why? Because it is regular verb. You have to add ed. We be very lucky with the weather. We be very lucky with the weather. Here we have we. We is the subject. And verb to be. Can you remember that? With verb to be in the past tense, you have to change it to be was or were, right? Was or were. We use with we was or were. We use were. We were very lucky with the weather. We were very lucky with the weather. We use were with we, they, you, and the plural noun. Can you remember that? Good. The next one, it not rain a lot. It not rain a lot. You have to make it what? To make it simple past. And we have not. So with not, to make it negative, you have to add didn't, right? It didn't rain. We don't change the verb rain. It didn't rain. right? It didn't rain. You don't need to change the verb. Why? Because we have didn't. The next one, but we see some beautiful rainbows. Rainbows. What does rainbows mean? Rainbows. Rainbow in Arabic means قوس قزح. We see some beautiful rainbows. رأينا قوس قزح جميل, right? So we see, you have to change see. We saw, it is irregular verb. So it is what? It is so. We saw some beautiful rainbows, okay? And I don't need the last one. So let's move to the next. Here you have the right answer. Look here. Spent, was, traveled, visited, okay, learned, where, didn't rain, so. Can you notice that? So this is what? This is the right answers, right? This is the right answers. Okay, let's move to another exercise. Here you have to write the sentences in the negative form. You have to change it to be in the negative form. Here you have to change it to be in the negative form. So here look. Here you have the subject, right? I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. So this is examples of subject. Played, verb in the past tense, played, and tense complement. To make it negative, here we have the subject, didn't, and the play. Can you notice that? We use the play, not played. Why? Because we have didn't, and with didn't, you don't need to add anything to the verb. You have to use verb infinitive, right? And tense complement. Okay? So, the first one, he went to school yesterday. He went. You have to change went. So he didn't go to school yesterday. Make it negative. Notice that. You have to make it negative. He didn't go. We use didn't because you have to make it negative. And here we have go. We change the verb went to be what? Go. Can you notice that? And here we have go, right? Why? Because we have didn't, and you don't need to change the verb. They ate lunch at the cafeteria. They ate. Can you see that? They ate. So ate is in the past tense, right? Ate lunch. Okay, so to make it negative, you have to add what? You have to add didn't. They didn't eat lunch, right? They didn't eat lunch. We didn't say they didn't eat. We say they didn't eat. Why? Why? Because we have didn't, and with didn't you don't need to change the verb, right? So the next one, my sister played basketball with her friends. My sister played basketball. Here we have what? Played. To make it negative, didn't play. My sister didn't play. Why do we use play, not played? Because we have didn't, and with didn't, you don't need to add anything to the verb. They didn't play, right? They didn't play, right? I read a newspaper on the train. I read a newspaper in the train. Okay, I didn't read a newspaper on the train. I didn't read. Okay, it rained last week. Last week is a key word that tells us that you have to use simple past. It rained last week. Rained? It didn't rain. Right? It didn't rain. Okay, student? Why do we use rain, not rained? Because we have didn't, and with didn't, you don't need to change the verb. It didn't rain. I felt, the next one, I felt sick, so I saw a doctor. Make it negative. I didn't feel sick, so I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel sick. We use didn't because you need to make it negative. Felt, you have to change it to be infinitive. Okay, I didn't feel sick, so I saw a doctor. I didn't see a doctor. We use didn't and we use what? See. Why do we use see? Because you have to use infinitive form, like here, play. Okay? Thomas has a good time at the party. Thomas had a good time at the party. Okay? Had, didn't have. Thomas didn't have. Okay? So we use didn't because you have to make it negative and you have to change the verb had. What is the infinitive form of the verb had? It is have, right? It is have. So Thomas didn't have a good time at the party, right? So the next one, Saison like the movie. Liked the movie. Like here, it is what? It is past tense, liked. So you have to change it. Saison what? Didn't like. Didn't like. You have to change the verb to be like. Okay? Why? Because you have didn't. So she didn't like the movie. Didn't like the movie. We use it in the infinitive form. We don't add anything. Okay? I saw you at the shopping mall on Saturday. I saw you. Okay? I saw you. You have to change it to be negative. So you have to add what? Didn't. I didn't see you at the shopping mall on Saturday. I didn't see. Why do you see? Because you have didn't. Add with didn't, you don't need to change the verb. My wife bought a new hat this morning. My wife, what does my wife mean? In Arabic, my wife زوجتي. Bought, اشترت. A new hat this morning. اشترت قبعة جديدة this morning. هذا الصباح. So, my wife didn't buy. Right? Didn't, you have to use didn't. And the infinitive form of the verb bought is buy. Right? My wife didn't buy a new hat this morning. Okay? I will send you the correct answer. Okay? I will send you the correct answer. So let's move to using past tense with yes or no question. You have to make it what? Yes or no question. So, look, fill the blanks below to complete the sentences. Okay? And study the boxes. Here we have what? Can you notice here we have the subject I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. Those are example of subject. Cooked is what? Cooked. Look, here we have ed. So it is what? It is infinitive. This is past tense. Okay, past, a verb in the past, right? So to make it a question, look here. We use did, subject, and verb infinitive, right? So here we have did, subject, verb infinitive, and a question mark. So did, subject, verb infinitive. We don't add ed. Like here we have ed in the question, we don't add ed. Okay, the answer should be yes or no. Yes or no. Yes, subject, yes, did, yes, did, no, didn't. Okay, so yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Yes, you did, or no, you didn't. Yes, he did, or no, he didn't. Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. Like that. Okay, so let's move to the exercise. They went to a restaurant last night. Did they go to a restaurant last night? We use did. They is the subject. Go. We don't use went. We use go. Can you notice that? Here we have went and here we have go. We change it to be what? To be infinitive. Okay? Yes, they did. The answer, or no, they didn't. Okay? Yes, they did, or no, they didn't. So, the next one. Number 2. It rained yesterday. It rained yesterday. To make it yes or no question. Did it rain yesterday? Did it rain yesterday? We use did, it, the subject, and rain. We don't say rained. It is what? It is rain. Okay, it is rain. Did it rain yesterday? Why do we use rain? Because we have did and you don't need to change the verb. So yes, it did, or no, it didn't. Okay? The airplane take off at 3 p.m. Okay? 3:47 p.m. The airplane, what does airplane? It is الطائرة, right? Took off, it means أقلعت. Okay, so to make it a question, did the airplane took off should be what? Take off. Okay, should be take off. The airplane, did the airplane take off at 3 p.m.? Yes, it did, or no, it didn't, right? So the next one is Jenny said goodbye to her friend. Jenny said goodbye to her friend. So the verb is said. You have to make it what? To make it yes or no question. So did Jenny say goodbye to her friend? Did Jenny say goodbye to her friend? Why do you say, not say it? Because we have did. So with that, you don't need to change the verb. Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. Okay, student? So this is all for today. If you have any question, any comment, just let me know and I will send you all the answers, okay? And see you next time. If you have any question, any comment, just let me know. See you next time and goodbye.